Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, January 4th, and we're going to talk about the number one reason why I think that we are held back from our authentic self. If you're in your 50s, then this is why. Back in the 1960s, they believed that your environment created your destiny. So if you were born a certain way with, eating certain foods and living a certain way, then that was going to be your destiny forever. And they would just say, that's it. But now, in the 1970s, early 1970s, this man, he was Langer from Harvard. He did a study where he took some men, and they were in their 80s, and some women too, and they put them in an environment of the 1950s, exactly like they were. And so these are older people. Some of them had eyesight problems, and they were using a cane. So he took these people, and he let them live a short time in the environment of the 1950s, and he saw the changes in them were amazing. They were better eyesight, they could hear better. One man, a couple of people, they were walking better, and so their actually bodies or physical bodies were changing just because of mindset. So they were thinking, it's not actually possibly the environment, but their perspective on the environment, because we were still in, and they were still in the 1970s, but just because of their perspective on their environment changed their thinking, because it's just stuff. And so they went further, and they said, men who change their perspectives change their bodies. We have the power over food, activity, the people that we spend with, and we can change our genes, and we have the power to transform. And so this is an amazing thinking. The problem with that is when we were younger, possibly our parents, who are extremely well educated and they had very well meaning, they were brought up on this belief that your environment creates your destiny. And my father, I love him so much, but this was what he believed. And he did it so much that he thought that I had to be a certain way, and I had to appear a certain way and speak a certain way in order to get the best out of life. And so they say that a confused mind creates nothing. And that was me. And that's all we are, is when we are unhappy, we are just confused and disconnected to who we are. So the one thing that I did to get out of that funk was I dropped everything. I dropped everything, and I went to Pensacola. I lived in Pensacola and did my thing. I sang and I danced in a Dixieland bar. And I was like, this is it. I'm living on the beach. I don't have very many things. I didn't go shopping. And my father, he was not very happy about that decision. He told me, honey, if you go and do this plan that you're doing, if you do not go back to college and get your degree, I am going to cut you off. And I love him for saying that to me. And he sat me down knee to knee and said, you are cut off. So I said, okay, Daddy, that's fine. I don't really want your money right now because I need to find me. I don't want your money ever. I'm going to be fine. And he looked at me and he rolled his eyes, and it didn't work. So I stayed in Pensacola. And what I did do, I used my time wisely. I knew that that was my time to reflect on what had happened. They say that a life lived is not your experiences that makes a person, but it's your ability to reflect. And what I did was to journal. I woke up every day, and I had a kind of an eating disorder at the time, but I journaled, and I realized, oh my gosh, some days I'm going to eat enough calories that could feed a village. The next days I'm not going to be that hungry, but I'm not going to continue eating because I just ate all those calories because I was punishing myself. It was a cycle, and when I journaled, I could see what my highs and my lows were and my thinking. And then later on, I found a book, and it was called The Female Brain, way later, like just about 8 years ago. It was called The Female Brain. I don't know who it's by. I think I have it. It's Louise somebody, and she wrote a whole book about the female brain and how at different times in our lives we do different things. And she wrote the book because she said there is no books on females and how our hormones change monthly. And everything was geared towards men. But because we have so many highs and lows, so when we're children, women are a different way, all the way up to when we're adults, our brains are constantly changing. And it's good to be aware so that we can know this is normal or this is not normal. So we can have a positive mindset for a better future. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I love you so much. Go out and do your crazy. Mwah.